When you're saying evolution, and you say evolution by natural selection, let's just call that Darwinism because that's what it is.
Okay, let's call it Darwin.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because evolution as an idea existed for thousands of years before Darwin, and it was used in English from the 1600s, right? So evolution is different to Darwinism. I don't have a problem with evolution. Now, when it comes to, you asked a very good question, which is we have all these independent fields and they converge on a Darwinian explanation.
Sure.
And I don't deny that. But the only thing which I'm going to point out is all of those subfields, they also can be used to converge upon alternatives. Okay? So let me just give you an example. We have biochemistry, right? We have genetics, we have anatomy, we have psychology, we have sociology, we have biogeography, we have the fossil record, we have paleoanthropology, we have all these fields.
Yeah.
Each single one of them you could use to actually come up with evolution by self-organization. Or rather than the tree of life, you can come up with the web of life, or the hedge of life, or you can come up with an alternative topology. So Darwinian evolution is kind of like this, and this is one of the examples it gives in a journal called Science. It's called the paper's called the Politics of Paleoanthropology. It says to try and reconstruct the history, because Darwin believed in the tree of life, is kind of like working out the plot of Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace with 13 randomly selected pages, right? It's very difficult to try and come up with a retrospective history when 99.999% of species are extinct. We don't have their fossils, we don't have their DNA, and this is according to the National Science Foundation, a study published last year. So because of that, I don't disagree with you that you can use those subfields to come up with Darwinism as one explanation, but I could just turn around and say that's one amongst many. So what makes you sure of this over evolution by self-organization?
It's falsifiable.
So is evolution by self-organization, and all the rest of them.
Yeah, but that's meaning there are certain criteria in this theory that scientists agree that will falsify completely what they say. Meaning, again, going to the usual thing, a rabbit in a stomach of a T-Rex or something like that, right? They haven't lived according to the theory in the same time.
That wouldn't falsify Darwinism. That would not. Even if there was a rabbit found in the Cambrian period or pre-Cambrian period, that would not falsify Darwinism. Because Darwinism, it is a mechanism which leads to X to Y. Yeah, so even if they found a rabbit, it wouldn't disprove Darwinism.
It would disprove the way evolution works, right? So
no, it wouldn't.
Because their tree comes, mammals in the tree come way later than the reptiles.
Yeah. So all they would do, if that happened to be the case, is they'll rearrange the branches of the tree, and they do that all the time. To rearrange and to, like, the way that they come up with the tree of life. When they have a particular species and they assume that this is related to that, and then they do further studies and they're like, okay, we assumed because of homology this is related to that, but it makes sense that this is more related to this. So they have these small changes, but those big changes, like finding a mammal in the pre-Cambrian, that's not happened. But if it was to happen, that wouldn't disprove Darwinism. That wouldn't disprove it.
At least it would disprove the theory that they have about the way the species develop.
Yeah,
it will disprove.
Yeah, but it's kind of like
they would have to think about a different way to and that would be a little different than what it is.
Very different.
Very different. Correct.
But only different in its structure, not the mechanism of natural selection. Because remember, Darwin didn't come up with homology. Similarities due to common descent. He came up with natural selection.
I concede this to you, and even if the structure changes, right, it will still necessitate the change, while in the same time, what is written in Quran and Bible, we have all this evidence, but they say no, it doesn't change. It's the way it is. But we change it because we have sort of evidence that point us in a certain direction, right? So. And then,
the reason, what you're actually referring to is the tree of life, right?
Okay.
when it comes to the Quran and the Bible and its claims about species and how they change, the Quran is silent when it comes to most of biological life. But one thing the Quran does make clear is human chimp ancestry is not true. Okay? In terms of a whale having a land-like mammal as a precursor to it, there's no, we have no reference to say that that's wrong. But what I'm actually saying is, assuming I'm not Muslim, I'm not Christian, I'm say an agnostic, I have no belief.
Yeah.
I would be saying the same thing, which is, fair enough, we have this tree of life which is constructed in all those textbooks and you've got these nice branches. And I would say almost all of the scientists, not all, but a lot of the scientists would say it's true. It's true. It's true as in it's generally accepted among scientists. But none of them would say, one, it's absolutely true. None of them would deny it's based on a probabilistic framework.
Okay.
None of them would deny it's based on the assumption of homology. And none of them would deny that there's conceptual problems with that framework. These are all accepted by all of them.
Okay. Now let's go.
But do you know that?
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, and I agree on that. But then, isn't this a better way of viewing the world we're living in?
Yeah.
As to having, let's say, 75% certainty, not certainty, but 75% proof, and 25% of what, something, a belief that is true, rather than
we covered this a bit before. I think there's a bit of a mistake. There's no such thing as a 75% book. It's either a book or not a book. Science doesn't give you 75% certainty. Science gives you workable models which are falsified. That's all it gives you.
Okay, but why should I then, as a agnostic, should I believe? Is there a reasonable reason why I should believe more than what Quran said than what decades of studies have been done in science? Okay. Well, which model should I take as my framework of thinking about the world?
That's actually a false dichotomy. You're hitting something which is a workable model in science, which doesn't give you certainty, and you're taking some beliefs which come from metaphysics, essentially, which is the belief in God and the belief in religion and whatnot. These are two different paradigms. So if you want to talk about, say, science, there's nothing wrong with you saying, I believe in Darwinian evolution as a scientific theory. There's nothing wrong, and I'm not even going to challenge you on that.
Okay.
The challenge is if you say it's absolutely true, right? The science is a lead to care, or if you use that and then you say, because of that, therefore this is wrong. No, but if you were just to hold that belief, I would say to you, good day, sir. Good day, sir. And I would say, yeah, no problem at all.
But you see, I cannot believe that humans came up from a common ancestor, which is the theory that scientists have. Common ancestor with apes, and in the same time believe that they were created by a creator in an instance, and that female was created from a rib of a man. These are beliefs, conflict. And then I have to choose on which one do I believe, right? Because I cannot have this cognitive dissonance of having two different ideas.
Now you've asked the right question.
How I go?
As long as, and you have acknowledged this, which is fine, that what science has given you in terms of human-chimp ancestry, and human-ape ancestry, and religion is claiming that they were created in one instant. Now you have something which is a workable model, which is generally accepted by a majority of scientists, and is based on a probabilistic framework and with assumptions, with conceptual problems, but it's still something. Okay. Then you have a claim which goes counter to that. So your question is, why would I choose this over this?
Yes.
And my answer would be, then what we have to do is we actually have to elevate the conversation to where do we get certainty from in terms of epistemology. Because when it comes to this particular junction which you're at, which you're walking at, which is, I know it's not certain, I know it's got whatever, right? It's probabilistic framework with assumptions, but it's something, human chimp ancestry, and religion is claiming this. Now what we have to speak about is if there is a God or not. Because if there is a God, and there's good reasons to believe in a God, and the Creator has given us evidences that He has sent revelation, then we have reasons to choose this. But there's no such thing as choosing this over this, because this doesn't claim certainty anyway, when this does.
إذا أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والتعليق، ولكي يصلك كل جديد اشترك الآن.